Weavers have to go Lincolns are far and few between these days. But maybe it's more viable now that he gets more damage off Geminates, that he doesn't need to go damage items, but it's still going to be a very, very difficult game for a Weaver, I feel.
Yeah, I got to agree. It's just too much. There's just too much on the board for him to worry about. That even a Lincolns. I mean, they've got decent Lincolns pop. Even Swap is a fantastic tool for popping Lincolns when you've got two of them
saw
now.
From Dream League, because the charges don't get spent.
They sure don't. Alrighty then, game number 3 between Tiger and the team fight, so a little bit of confusion going on. This time as well, the team fights are so easy to execute. Like, you just got to swap into Lasso and then throw down a Requiem on top of that as well, and there's no real chance for that Detonators to respond to that one. Even if they get the Grave off, they can't take the fights after the Requiem comes off. So, and they don't have enough stun for that. I mean, I guess they can Winter's Curse or something, but... it feels risky, and there's no cancel for this this Lasso as well. So one
actually did not know that.
Okay, now we know. Velo's just putting them on for good measure at this stage, but now that the Weaver comes in, there's 3 heroes surrounding Velo. He's gonna go for the TP out. He's done. He is done for, and Yoshimoto finally gets washed up with all that sticky napalm charges and kind of start to look towards Raven now. Finally, no longer. Did you see his turn rate when he was stuck there?
Yeah, that was
Raven's gone as well.
Ooh,
Salve, is it worth it? He's in the trees. He's actually escaping this one. Yoshimoto coming in. Stun comes out. Puts an end, and they do get 2 kills here in the top lane. So highly questionable plays, I would say. From Dendi with a haste rune as well doesn't result in a kill. They're looking for Velo once again. They don't want to get the XP from these creeps. The stun comes out, and the Weaver just doing damage from the low ground as well. The Arctic Burn doing so much work, but Velo will be able to make his way across the cliff and out of vision off the side of the Dire. 4037 actually TPing into this one. Winter Wyvern gets stunned up, but Raven has to get this bug off him. He's taking so many hits to get it away. 147 brought down by Weaver, and now they look towards Raven as well. Raven, I'm not sure he's getting out of this one. Doesn't have a roll available, but decides not to use it. Goes for the kick instead as he goes down. And now they look towards Velo as well. No Firefly to work with. No even anything to be used here as he's going to drop as well. 3 kills fed here in the top lane as Detonator pick off. Get a massive win up here.
Well, at least Tigers will get the bounty runes out of it, but yeah, that happened basically a best case scenario for Detonator. Venge TP'd top, ended up going into the meat grinder. Warcry was doing a lot of damage mitigation against the tower and all these creeps who were aggroing everyone. And Huangba's level 5 now, and Batrider is still just level 2. Although he is gonna jungle now. He does have 1 stack of hard camps. But that's it going for them right now.
Oh, it's going to be a long road to catch up for Velo here, but let's have a look at some other lanes. I think for looking at the budget build to start with, he's got that medallion coming out to him. You know, he could go medallion maybe into a diffusal and then straight in for the Aghanim's. I can see it working.
On most heroes. On Weaver, that's well, the Solar Crest is the real luxury, but medallion itself is still immensely value on a Weaver.
True.
He might be able to kill Velo.
Velo playing with fire here. He really wants to get these hard creeps, and actually he realizes he spent enough time on this, and Huangba will back himself away. Dendi with a haste rune in the bottle. We saw how much he did with the last one. Let's see how much he can do with the second one. So we'll throw it over to net worth and see the Weaver pretty far ahead. But Troll still doing rather well for himself here at the bottom lane. We haven't really looked at this bottom lane at all, to be honest, but you know, 458 he's farming up. Sam H, he's in the jungle. Not really much of a lane to comment on, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Sam H did not really have very much help, and so it doesn't surprise me that he's
on the top lane though. Velo in trouble once again. They've got the bugs on him. They can see where he is, and he's just going to the safe place again where the Weaver cannot reach him. He's just kind of going from like one side to the other side to the other, and they will have to back themselves out. So Velo just playing around that patch of the land. Very nicely there.
Roll in, and then her does not connect though. Poor Ember. No lane to go to, no real jungle camps to take.
Radiant structures are fortified.
I'm surprised they just didn't end up opting to send Dazzle mid instead of Ember. And then just do like a dual situation. Or let Weaver.
It feels like a bad case of people just being too stuck to their lanes, which you never see any of the top tier teams doing, and they will always be able to switch it up. They will always be able to switch their core and their cores up to whatever lane they need to go to. And that's just something which needs to be done. Roll forwards, yeah, looking for fly solo here. They get the slow out, and with the raised damage, they actually back themselves off. leaving him on about 10 HP. Another stun comes into Dendi here. A couple more right clicks will be needed. Dendi just turns around for the quick raise. Another quick raise. You let him real low on RR right now. Gets healed up from the high ground from Sam Age. Tiger's still looking for this one. They've got the stun in 2 seconds, but the spend is too fast. He's also got illusion rune as well, however, which doesn't do a good job of microing it. Another rock comes flying through. They've got the stun out. They've got the anti-armor. They get the kill. Down goes RR.
Troll activated battle trance or something, and I don't know what he was attacking. It may have been Wyvern, because Wyvern is sitting in base all of a sudden, so I guess that's why Wyvern wasn't able to show up, because she is level 6, she has Winter's Curse, and did not really join into any of that. Although the mid Ember Spirit did survive, and I guess that's the most important thing. And that smoke may have been spotted by a Wave of Terror.
Absolutely. He's pinging it out like crazy. 1437. He's letting them all know. Rolling in the mid lane, they want to go for the dazzle whilst this is going on. Does manage to get the grave off. There's another TP coming in. Fly Solo's here as well, but they should be able to finish this dazzle. A couple more right clicks will be required. He heals himself up, and Raven just smacking into the dazzle. Damage getting so low, and there's the curse as well, but the stun comes in from 1437 to finish off the Dizzler. And now their Spirit in a bit of trouble here as he's dropping low on HP. The chains, the flame guard, it melts him away. The swap out from 1437, but it's straight into the waiting mandibles of Weaver as he surges forward to try and get the kill. And Dendi will be taken down under his own tower. Now coming up onto the high ground, they're looking towards 1437 as well, and he's not going to be able to get themselves away. Detonator find 3 kills in the middle lane, and that is going to give them a lot more space to breathe in this game. Killing this Shadow Fiend is the absolute key part of this entire like kind of 10 to 15 minutes mark. So they need to get these kills, and they're doing it.
Yeah, and at the same time they're preserving their towers, so it's not like Troll is being able to just mow down a single lane while are, you know, at like a third half HP, but it's still objectives that Tigers have yet to claim, which is a marked difference from their game 1 with this Shadow. Game in which they were just plowing down the map. Weren't they going high ground at like 18 minutes in that game 1? Rune, so close.
Ooh, he grabs it. He might be going down here. Actually, no, with Dendi coming in, he's going to scare back the side of Detonator for the time being.
I did not realize how much Venge's right click looks just like a Rod of Atos projectile.
That's terrifying.
I saw it flying towards Ember Spirit and I was like, holy shit, he has a rod already.
That's definitely a buff to Venge then.
Ultimately, I don't know when Tigers are going to want to start grouping up, but I do think that they have to start grouping up sooner than Detonator. But I guess the Wyvern makes it a little bit more intimidating. Especially when you have such, like, heavy targets to take advantage of a Winter's Curse. Both the Shadow Fiend and the Troll, if they manage
swap in the middle lane. Fly Solo held back into the raids as he goes, and this time they will finish the job. Last time they let him live when they tried this combo, but this time around they do manage to kill the Winter Wyvern. About right, they're trying to steal some camps here, but well, stun comes in from the Sven. Manages to take 2 of those creeps.
Radiant's top
And
tower.
Bello's just getting bullied wherever he goes. He has managed to find himself a drum though, so that's fairly good. Now these drums
1 second.
crazy. Yeah, he's sitting. They get the swap out, but immediately into the Ember Spirit. He needs to swap down this, stop swapping down this river. 1437 as Bella will go down, but Weaver, it's in trouble. The Rays won't finish him off though. It gets damn close, but he will be able to get himself out.
Radiant's bottom
Not enough
tower
mana for a
is
time
under
lapse. He's just gonna have to go back to base.
Meanwhile, Troll just taking up in this top lane. Yeah, getting ready on this tower here. Kind of surprised he's not ulting for it, but no one's TPing in, so I guess he doesn't need to.
Yeah, he's got it.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Well, Sam H comes into contact with Raven down here. A couple of stones being thrown, even the Magnetize being thrown out here. Raven is getting busy on this guy. Sam H is dropping low. He might have to throw this grave out. Will do so as the stun comes in to try and stop him. And Spirit getting things turned around him, especially with Ben Harrow as well. Raven's going to die, and Sam H able to escape on the sidelines. Oh no, and Sarah doesn't quite do enough. And now the lasso comes out. They've got the Ember Spirit straight into the arms of Dendi. Nice little combo there to get the triple raise combo down. Now RR turns around with the stun. Does manage to get the Troll and the Venge. Yeah, Weaver coming in the backline, just causing him some damage and taking the courier as well. Sam H backs himself away. Weaver still hanging out behind, but there's no real pickoffs to be had after this fight, so he's just going to be wasting his time hanging out back here as he goes back to farm some creeps, and Fly Solo takes the time to go and get some wards down.
He's getting the time to take wards down, but that also verifies that he's not defending this tier 1, so Troll Warlord will ult for this because he knows no threat of Winter's Curse, because he also didn't have a TP, although he did spend Battle Trance now. And he's getting ganked by the heroes.
Yeah.
So perhaps he's playing his hand.
A little bit. He's gonna go down, but, well, bounties gotten. Worth? Probably not. Especially as they're able to grab one on top as well. Roll forwards. This Raven's being so aggressive on this Earth Spirit, actually. This guy
I think the jury's still out on how good he is on this. This whole 4-position Raven thing, by the way, I'm assuming you talked about it in game 1. Did you?
Not really, no.
Well, it's very weird. I don't know why one of the best carries, in my opinion, in Southeast Asia is playing 4-position. But he's not doing a bad job. His Nature's Prophet in game 1, I mean, in game 2 was fine. He played a Leshrac in game 1. It wasn't really, like, you know, you could have picked any hero in game 1 and it would have been fine. And his Earth Spirit, you know, it's doing fine. I have no issues with it. But why is he playing 4? It's so weird.
It's very strange. But in they go, just annihilate this Weaver as quickly as possible there, and Raven gets it. What a player. Big tick for him.
For 2019.
Yeah, gets the invis,
Crit who? Never heard of him.
Heard he's some Raven wannabe. Into the pit they go with that anti-armor from the Shadow Fiend, able to rip through it fairly quickly, coming up with the Vengeance Wave Terror as well. Ward placed on the high ground just to make sure they can see anybody rotating in, and doesn't look like Dendi have any clue about this one, and this has been a kind of, okay, they're smoking over to it, but very slowly. It's, Ben-Hur going in. No, he doesn't realize he's going for the bench in the real and Roshan gonna fall for 4-5-8. They get that kill. Winter's Curse gonna be used to cancel out the lasso. And, well, Ember is able to get himself to the high ground, but they've lost Roshan. And Velo is looking for Winter Wyvern here. Although, with Fengler coming in from the backlines as well, he's gonna be able to dish out a ton of damage onto Velo here. The ultimate being cocked up from Dendi, but they already get the kill onto Velo. That was quick. Now, they'll be running forwards.
They only have 1 remnant, and they still have to fight into an Aegis Troll.
Timeout's forced out from the Weaver as well. Down about knife chains onto the 2 cores here. Stun thrown down as well. And now they roll forwards into the Weaver here. And Nice Grove going to come out, and Cold Embrace going to save the day. But I'm not sure you want to use these 2 spells together, as he just stays there until the Grave runs out and then dies. And Ben-Hur in trouble as well. They're going to get another one. Tigers are doing it. They run forward. 3-man stun. It's going to be enough to save the Wyvern. It is not. He's going to go down as well. And they're even looking for more. They're chasing forwards onto RR. They want the spend. They want everybody. He's going to go for the TP out, but they get the swap cancelled up into the arms of Dendi, and they'll be able to get this kill as well. It is 4 heroes down on the side of Detonator, and Tigers find their momentum and then some. They take an Aegis, and they take every single hero on the side of Detonator, except maybe they take everybody. Velo's trying to make it everybody, but I don't think he can.
Nah, Lasso's down. Be able to do a little bit of damage, but Sam H has to go back to base anyway, which means that this top tier 2 may also be under siege, but Winter's Curse is available, so I don't think Tigers should overplay their hand. They got a lot done with that post-Aegis fight. I mean, they still have the post-Roche fight.
Yeah, it's...
I mean, one of these days there's going to be a curse, and it'll probably be amazing.
There was a curse. It went down onto the Batrider as he was trying to lasso someone away.
A curse including either the Shadow Fiend or the Troll.
Gotcha.
I think that's the instrumental part of it. Or it can be in response to a lasso. If someone gets lassoed and then you immediately curse, that's also fine. But so far, things have not really shown up on the side of team fight with Detonator.
Well, the ping's coming out in the middle lane here. I'm not too sure why. The Tigers make their way up to top lane. Another haste rune on Dendi. The 3rd one so far in this game that I've seen.
And he's about to hit level 15 as well. So with Greaves,
1 level away.
And a very easy way to get out. And thankfully the Shadow Fiend and Troll are standing away from each other. So no real curse threat. I think at least let Troll get his BKB until he start going really hard in the paint. The Greaves itself on Shadow Fiend is not enough. But the remainder of Tigers will 4-man smoke, and Weaver will pop it on the Earth Spirit.
So with his Ember, last game he played it, if you remember, he didn't actually manage to get his Maelstrom up. It was a very sad
Yes.
game. This game he has been given the space to at least get that, and he's not quite so far down the network, but whether he's actually going to be able to do anything for the next fight remains to be seen. Meanwhile, Tigers just trying to assert themselves over this map as much as possible.
If they do hit and run, like the most important thing about this Maelstrom being completed is that their high ground defense is far better. These days, Embers are going for the maxed out Sleight of Fist, and so having that on a 6-second cooldown with the damage that it does and the Maelstrom damage means that it's a lot easier to hold high ground as an Ember Spirit. But in terms of team fight, it's still going to be a little bit longer until his contribution is still relevant. Especially since Ben-Hur's not going for like big triple Remnant plays. He's primarily using Remnant defensively, and so his damage output is heavily reduced as a result.
Bottom tower going down. They haven't quite got the level 15 on Dendi yet, but they don't even seem to need it as they tear through that bottom tower. And not really showing any signs of slowing down right now.
We got 50 seconds left in this Aegis. I don't know how desperate they are to push it. It looks like they're content.
Yep. Not wanting to force the issue too much, you know, it's a good way to throw a game is trying to do too much with an Aegis. Although, well, they're not going to get himself away quite easily.
I wonder if anyone's gonna get a Yules for him. It's like Bad Rider and Earth Spirit are both getting Blink Daggers, and Shadow Fiend is going for a BKB, so probably not. And Sven finishes up a Blink Dagger of his own.
Yeah, that's some good initiation for Detonator, something they're missing pretty sorely before. The ability to get in and actually take a fight with a Blink and a Stun. And that is going to be coming out from the Sven. Gotta remember that this Winter's Curse always works better if it's just a kind of responsive spell rather than an initiation spell. It's very difficult to get this off. As they roll in, they're gonna connect onto the Wyvern as well. Raven manages it with the silence up as well. It's gonna start the fight off. No, the actual Grave comes out. He might be able to get himself off a curse in this fight. After all, they're staying away from each other. They're keeping their distance, and he's gonna go down to the fire. Cold Embrace himself for some reason. And now the BKB on the troll will run out, but I'm not sure Weaver can fight this one. Does manage to dodge out. Just out of range there of that initial sentry from 1437, and that means that the magic missile gets dispelled. Close though, close.
I didn't catch how they saw the Wyvern, but great roll by Raven. That makes this high ground siege a little bit easier, although Wyvern's so low level she's going to be back in just now. And they don't have the Aegis anymore, it timed out a minute ago. So I still think that they do have the BKB on troll, but it's on cooldown now. Okay, so...
Yeah, he used it in the last fight. I forget, if you use the curse on a non-spell immune target, will a spell immune target...
You can only control the spell immune person if they're the primary target. A spell immune person will not get taunted into attacking someone.
Okay, gotcha. Easy. Yeah, I'm actually super surprised that the Wyvern decided to go for the Cold Embrace rather than go for the...
I mean, I guess the YOLO
curse
curse wouldn't have probably done anything. But it's only an 80-second cooldown. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, and just controlling up the troll and his BKB for that fight would be something at least. But instead, they just allow Tigers to run all over them. And now, well, they've got to defend their high ground somehow. Venge throwing in the Wave of Terror. Just scouting out. And this is proving how strong they are. You know, when the Venge is able to stand here while the closest member of our team is over here, kind of says a lot.
And they should know that Sven has a Blink Dagger at this point, because he's shown himself, so... If Venge still isn't afraid after seeing the Blink Dagger Sven, then that definitely speaks to how proud they are right now. Tigers do find the Venge, though.
Okay, swap. Nope, not gonna use it. But the lasso on the backlines, they managed to drag the Wyvern down onto the low ground out of this fight as Wolfbane Hate just takes down the Ember Spirit, chunking away, and he gets the root off as well, just goes into the range ball and finishes off Ben-Hur. Meanwhile, Flysolo taken care of as well. The roll forward onto Dazzle. He's in trouble. Dazzle's going down. Now looking towards RR as well. Sven trying to make his way out of this fight, but there's not going to be any escape from him. The roll forward once again gets it, and Dendi, he wasn't even bothered. He wasn't even joining in the fight. He's just here farming creeps going, yeah, good job, guys. Well done. I'm just going to go ahead and push in the wave up onto the high ground, heal you all up, mana you all up, and we can get to work.
Presence all these towers up. Level 16 is acquired after the glyph times out. tower gets completely shredded, and now it's Ember versus the world.
Dire's middle barracks.
Although there is a winner's curse. There has always been a winner's curse.
There was, yeah, that's been consistent throughout this game. But see, this is a high IQ play though. Tigers, they only send one of their cores to the fight. You know, Dendi just doesn't turn up.
That's all you need to do.
Good luck, Winter's cursing me if I'm not there. So
That
smart.
Rider's able to successfully escape. So now imagine take the shrines, seize map control, and then get ready for the next rush, which will respawn in 1 minute.
So I have a theory.
Let's hear it.
You know how people like casters never really say the names of spirit spells because, you know, rolling boulder, geomagnetic grip, I think magnetize, and sometimes boulder smash are the only spells to ever get said. Like we always just say is rolling in. You know, you never say roll. You cast rolling boulder to close the gap.
Yeah.
I think it's just because like all casters are really bad at Dota, and we've never played high skill heroes like this, so we don't actually know the
Do
spells. And it's
you
just a
say
big cover
Oracle
up.
spells? That's the
I
real
do.
benchmark.
I do.
Oh, okay.
I've got a friend that plays Oracle like a lot. And when he's screaming, "I'm gonna purifying flames you," I'm like, "What?"
That's what
in the middle of a team fight, like, I don't know what that is yet, but eventually you find out.
You may be onto something. I know that's what a lot of people were
I still
commenting
get
on
confused.
Oracle for the longest time.
Is under attack.
At least Earth Spirits are like, they're indicative of what they are. Like rolling, he's rolling, smashing, you know, he's actually like, you know, shoulder bumping the rock, and then
Geomagnetic grip,
he
he's
sticks his
gripping.
hand out, you know, and grip implies like something's coming towards you. So they're all somewhat intuitive. Whereas Oracle is like Fortune's End. What does Fortune's End mean? Does Fortune's End mean you're not going to die, or does Fortune's End mean
Then
you're
getting
gonna get
ganked deep here. 3 heroes coming in hard onto the Elspeth. Oh my god, that heal bomb did a lot of DMGs. Goodness me, how much was that? Nice. 844 damage done by the Dazzle with 1 Shadow Wave.
Hey, I see a Poison Touch icon there also.
Yeah, sure.
Don't discount that contribution.
Apology.
Well, Raven's dead, but the rest of the team is taking the top shrine in the meanwhile, so they're getting ready for Roche, which is available now, and Detonator cannot take it at all. All they can do is hope to challenge it with this
steal it.
fabled curse, but that's really it.
Mythical curse. I mean, to be fair, we flamed the guy for holding onto the black hole for too long, and then he went and won the game with
This
it.
is
So,
true.
you know,
No,
maybe
we
fly
were
solo.
flaming RR for it, and RR
well, you know.
has been doing fine in my book. Wyvern will scout out that Roche is indeed up and gets an interesting position. Oh no, she went to the low ground.
Oh, got pooped out. That's very awkward. Luckily, no one saw him. That would have been very funny. I almost wish he did get caught.
I don't know if he saw the axes from Control fly out of the backside of the pit.
Well, they've got the ward down here. They can see Spirit
Yeah.
positioned well here. They can come on, fly solo. Let's
Well,
see it.
no one's challenging.
Sometimes you play for the game, and sometimes you
Just
play for
do
the
it.
front page of Reddit. He's waiting for it. He's waiting for it. They've seen him though. They catch him out. They've got him down. They don't. Oh no.
The important thing is he made space, because the rest of his team is pushing bot. Weaver does have a Desolate.
Oh, Batrider. Oh my god.
See that one coming.
Yeah. Maybe not anticipating this many heroes to be hanging around down here as let's get picked off.
Dendi wants to cut him off,
They're
though. He has a DD
rotating
round.
in, he's ready to punch, and RR will throw down the stun, but with all these heroes getting surrounded him, he's gonna be the sacrificial lamb, and yeah, Dendi tears him a new one as Raven rolling up to the high ground here. Plenty walks past the ancient camp.
Velo does see this Weaver, but Weaver has a BKB
no one near
now,
enough
and
for
there's
him
not enough
anyways.
follow-up. Although they
Oh,
did get a
Wyvern.
Batrider buyback out of this.
Dude, this guy's just like, you know how the Enigma spent like 8 minutes not using Black Hole to land that huge Black Hole at the end?
Yeah.
Think what 29 minutes of those
Ooh,
Winter's
that's
Curse are
true.
going to lead to.
That's how it works, right? The spell gets a bigger AoE.
he's
as
charging
it's
it
time to
up.
use it. That would actually be an interesting mechanic. In Street Fighter,
Dire's
the
has fallen.
wait, I'll hold that thought. Okay, so in Street Fighter, there's this character Balrog, right? Boxer. He has a mechanic where if you have to hold, you have to press one of his punch buttons, and the longer you hold it, the more powerful it will be. But the flip side is you can't use it the entire time, because like normally you use the punch button to use the punch. And so there's a cheese tactic where you basically hold that button down from the first second of the game, and then it's a one-hit KO. If you're able to pull it off,
You survive
after, like
long enough.
40 seconds. Yeah, if you survive long enough without using that button, and it's hilarious every single time.
Okay, trying to go through back door here on the side of Tigers. He's got no creeps in right now. Unfortunately, did change targets. That's not going to happen. And in comes Bello to get the Wyvern once again. Another day, another Winter's Curse not going to be seen. We'll buy back
They
into
still
this
can't
one.
push with it. Like the creeps are miles away. The Wyvern does buy back.
Oh dear. I like the way chat's telling us not to bully Fly right now as 5 minutes on and we're still going pretty hard on the dude. Boy, you're going to be
But
mad.
I mean, we're 5 minutes in the future and they still haven't used it yet.
True, true.
Again, like, it's not entirely his fault. It is a difficult game, much as how it was a difficult game for Dendi in game 2. But at the same time, there is such a thing as being too conservative with it, and some earlier fights may have been a little bit simpler if you aren't hoping to go for like big plays, because you know this Ember Spirit's getting bigger and bigger. If you're able to buy more time for him to get positioning for a triple remnant, or zone out the rest of the team with these slight Maelstrom procs, like they're holding high ground pretty successfully, even without the curse.
Yeah. But,
And this is what I was talking about. The Maelstrom procs doing Sleight of Fist are really good. Question is,
yeah, the range racks will go down, but that's about it right now. They need to find a way to take care of these siege groups.
Red Spirit still. Oh, they gave the cheese to Troll. Okay, so he's back up to full.
Some delicious fondue, ready to roll. Sun's been thrown out. Also, the Raps is gone. Where's the curse? No, he gets lassoed again. Bello on the case. They do manage to get the cup. Can he use the curse? He's silenced. He's silenced. Oh no, they're trying to heal him, but it's just not going to happen. Fly solo having a miserable old time here as Raven rolling forward, looking for the kills here. Trying to connect onto RR here, but RR runs away. There's Wangba coming in. He's got a lot of damage. He's got a Desolator. He's got him done. He's got a BKB to work with should he want it. But, meanwhile, the backslide of the fight, Ben-Hur forced back to base by 458. Tigers just asserting themselves up on this high ground right now and forcing Denton. I mean, they can't fight into this right now. 34 seconds until the Wyvern's back up. That was a dieback from him as well.
And Ravens had so many
Into the middle of it all. He's got that BKB. He's going to throw it out and try and hunt down the Ember Spirit, but he's just not able to close the gap. So he turns around, tries to look for another target instead, but he can't find anybody. He's losing health himself to 458. It's that ultimate from the Shadow Fiend comes out and going to force back the Weaver as RR held still. He is going to get graved up. Going to go for the TP back to base. He's going to get the root. Yes, he is. And he's gone. Buyback from the Sven. Ben-Hur on the sidelines just trying to throw in the damage, but the Sleight of Fist just seemingly doing nothing in the roll forward, throwing him back, but he does manage to get up onto the high ground. Heal up comes up from Sam H as well, and now the stun comes down. The return is in. A Raven is stunned up and brought down by the God's Strength. Are they going to go for more here? They are, but unfortunately there's nobody to catch. The Tigers have backed themselves up. Weaver still chasing though. Hengba looking, but he's got no slow to speak of. All he's got is chase. Is that going to be enough versus Dendi? Bello's coming out. He's got lasso again. It's off cooldown. Yeah, but it's not the Wyvern, so he doesn't want to use it on this guy. Now they're going to fight around this shrine as well. Hungba needs to be so careful. He's got the lasso. He's just going to come in and, well, Shadow Fiend, he's dropping low here. And with Ben-Hur on top of him here, Dendi staying alive. He's got the greed to keep himself up. But finally, the Sleight of Fist will do the job. And somehow Hungba makes his way out of this one as well. But one chased again by Bello, just chasing him down. The BKB being used. That's off cooldown as well. Trying to make his way out. He's got the security to make his way out of this one. As Fly Solo, they see him. And they all just lock in on Fly Solo, of course. Because
Curse is on cooldown.
uh-oh. Well, you can't say he hasn't used it now. Savage going for the TP out, but the roll's gonna cancel it. Raven on the floor, making the plays as a dazzle. He doesn't even get the grave off because Raven says no. And again, Detonator finding nothing. I can't believe. Well, Dendi did die in the end, but
dying buyback.
Yeah,
and
yeah, he bought back.
So it is a little bit of a penalty.
That's not where I was going with that. I can't believe. I was gonna say I can't believe the.
It's not butter.
It's not butter. Yeah, great product. Anyway. 458 onto the high ground. 4 heroes here to defend, but no Winter's Curse. What was that?
I don't know if they didn't manage to get that flame break. I don't know if the rolling boulder was actually connected in time to cancel that TP of Dazzle. So that may have been. Oh, Wow.
Manta.
Well played.
Just styling right now. Styling. It's the final barracks here. And Tiger's positioned very likely to be able to take this one of the BKB use the ultimate as well. The final barracks are gone. They're fighting into Megas. Dendi held still on the backlines as well to get the lasso out onto Ben-Hur and take him down. Qualifiers fighting up into Dendi right now, but it's looking hopeless. He's got the time lapse to work with, but it's going to bring him back into the team. Actually, they will run past him, so he will be able to get us on. Nope, swap, come back. Stun out as well, but a beautiful stun comes in from the Sven with the construct as well, but unfortunately he's not encouraged. He's not doing any damage, and Qualifiers kept alive by the Dazzle, but will die 5 back. Dendi dropping low here, but the swap onto the low ground is going to keep him alive a little bit longer, and they can't find him with Ben-Hur either. The Ember Spirit unable to find this kill. I feel like they're just fighting for their dignity right now, but Sven rolled into and blown up, wanting to kill on Dendi so badly, but could not get it. And not to mention Ben-Hur, held still here in the backlines as well, gets rooted up by 458. He tears him apart, and GG is called. Tigers have done it. They've secured their place in the closed qualifiers, beating out Detonator in the opens in this final game, and, well, pretty decent series, I would say.